Hello everyone, it's Harrison Allen here, and today I've actually got myself a very long sorted after item that I've been after for a very long time now, and it just so happens to be an item which not too long ago I actually found out and it just got shipped to Australia with me not knowing about a few days ago after, importing this from Hong Kong, but what can you do? But here we have the 2025 80th anniversary Thomas and Friends Henry diecast model. Now, looking at the box, yes, it does scream, Henry and stuff, like exactly what we saw primarily from like the CGI era of the show and stuff. It really captivates, the charm and appeal towards Henry. I'll give you a bit of a much better look at the box in a second. So here's the back of the box. So yeah, I did have to get this from like Hong Kong, hence why there's a whole bunch of like Chinese lettering in both the front and the back of the packaging, and there's also a little advert for not only Henry but also the James Model 2, which from what I understand too is also now available in some particular Australian retailers and stuff. So yeah, so all like the contact details and stuff, made in Thailand too. It's still interesting how they're still showing the Hit Entertainment logo when it's mainly Mattel that controls all the Thomas branding now. But I guess that's me. But time to like I'm going open them up from the packaging. Almost got him. Almost got him. Yep. There we are. All right, here we are. So here is the Henry in the saggy flesh now. When it comes to scale and portion wise, it's not entirely like up to scale. Say with the 2025 regular Thomas variant, for example, and now details such as like the face is pretty accurate to what we see, on the screen. The riveting on both the tender and the actual locomotive chassis is, nice little detailing as well. Again, with the coupling rods, it really captivates, the charm of even the original Ertl models from like the 80s up until like, the 90s, early 2000s and stuff like that too. And not only did I notice too, scaling issues, but also comparing to the likes of Thomas, this Henry model isn't exactly as like heavy weighted. Say the Thomas one, for example, because that I remember had like a much more heavy weight to him, primarily because like the whole locomotive body was just like a big chunk of die cast and stuff. While there's more so like a more plastic level of quality more than say a die cast. So you could definitely feel more like the scale, the weight of like the plastic portions of the model more than say the die cast. But I don't know if this is the same thing of James or if Percy had. I'm not sure. I don't believe Percy has the exact same issue and stuff. But yeah. So well, I may not think it's like one of the best models of Henry. Like even the fronts, the factory managed like paint his front buffers black, but not so much on his tender. A little bit more time, like in the oven, could have been like justified, but at the end of the day, it is what it is, and for what it's worth, it's really not a bad. Actually, it's a pretty good looking model, all things considered. Now, something else I wanted to talk about is that Around the same time, when Mattel decided to publicly release the Down the Mind pilot episode to coincide with the 80th anniversary of the Thomas franchise, a few websites slash articles have stated that Mattel is currently cooking up a new project for Thomas, which is set to delight, and I quote, old and new fans. So it really begs the question if not necessarily like the Railway series or the Mattel 80th anniversary Thomas packs, but more so like Percy, the regular Thomas, Henry, and James and stuff. Like seeing like those characters, getting new merchandise and stuff. Even Duck and Flying Scotsman too, let alone Gordon. It does beg the question if Mattel is going to be bringing back the CGI Thomas, but it probably won't be, from what I'm seeing, it probably won't be an official continuation from where season 24 left off. If anything, for me, I reckon it's gonna use the same continuity as beforehand, but it's gonna be a totally new beginning. So no more Thomas going around the world. Hopefully they'll keep the riveting and stuff on the engines, because that was one of the most best decisions they made during the whole Blubber era of the show. And another thing I'd really like to see happen for the new series is no more bouncing, because the Reverend W. Awdry never designed to have his engines go off the rails and do a whole bunch of cartoony things like the Pixar cars do, for example. Now, a supposed new character called Crane Truck Dre is somewhat meant to appear in this new reboot. Whether he's going to be a successor to, say, Butch or Rocky is yet to be determined. But I do believe, too, because I don't know how many seasons Mattel has already greenlit this new reboot, but I reckon it is going to tie us over before we get the upcoming live-action movie by Mark Forster, which, realistically, I want to say is about another 2 or 3 years away. So let's see how accurate my predictions are, but only time will tell. So yeah, if you do come across this model of Henry, yes, if you're a pretty big Henry fan, absolutely get him at all costs. And if you guys want to collect the new 80th anniversary merch to mark the occasion too, by all means, go wild. Yeah, but I'm also trying to look for the Railway series Illustrated Thomas, which is pretty impossible to come by, but I'm still trying. And also, I've got my mum getting me the Mattel 80th anniversary Thomas gift pack, which there is some speculation believing that that item could be getting recalled very soon, but I'll let Train Boy give you the full details why. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching this little unboxing video, and I'll have more videos up very, very shortly. Goodbye!